Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt. Welcome back to Far Lands or Bust. That was a rather rapid bark from Wolfie. Let's get started. The world hasn't even finished loading in yet. That is how little we had to wait for Wolfie to bark. Let's secure the entrance to the hidey hole. Get Wolfie a little bit further away from that flame. That's east. This is west. Wolfie knows which way is west. So let's continue on in Far Lands or Bust. This is episode... Up. There we go. Come on. Rise to the top. This is episode... There's a creeper over there. Episode 227. And since the last episode, last Friday, where we launched the new donation widget for Child's Play Charity, the official Child's Play Charity widget, we raised $1,385 just between that episode and this episode. So now our total is $21,205. We passed, we blew by, we annihilated, we destroyed, we absolutely crushed the 20% mark, our $20,000 for Child's Play Charity. 20% because we're attempting to raise $100,000 for Child's Play Charity this season, so that's amazing. Thank you everybody for helping me test out, I guess you could say, the new official Child's Play Charity widget over at farlandsorbust.com. That's amazing. And keep that stuff coming in over there. A little bit more of a, I guess a little bit more simplified of a method, I guess, for donating. There's, ooh, this is an interesting little mountain. Wolfie seems to think so too. Wolfie seems to think so as well. Yeah, it's all, I always say this when I come across these landscapes. I don't know what to call them. I think they have an official name in Minecraft in terms of the biome generation, but there's these lands that are like, it's as if they could have been covered in a couple layers of dirt, but they've been stripped of their dirtly duties. I could use some coal, why not, since it's right here on the surface. But yeah, there is one thing I've noticed, and I have an email into Child's Play Charity to see what the dealio. I should never say that again, I apologize. But I'm not getting any... Whoa, careful. I don't get any usernames or nicknames or anything with the donations. Hi. Let's just sit you down right there. I'm not sure. It might be... There is a way that you can create... an account with the Child's Play Charity donation system. I don't know if it's because you guys aren't creating accounts. You don't need to. That's completely optional. And it's a way that you can keep track of your donations with whatever fundraiser or Child's Play Charity widget you tend to use. But I don't know if that's the reason why, or if perhaps there's just a function not working there. But so I'm not getting any usernames. I don't get to see any of your emails or anything like that. So if you are giving a donation, rather, and you would like me to know who you are, perhaps via your Twitter handle or YouTube name or anything like that, just put that in the comments section. I am getting all of the comments. I've gotten some of your very nice comments. And actually somebody, look at the size of this pack of wolves, Wolfie. Woof. I don't know if that was you who barked or not, but woof. Wow, that's a gaggle, a murder of wolves. Murder. But yeah, if you want me to know that right now, until I figure out what's up with the username part of the Child's Play Charity donations, put that in the comments. And actually, I wanted to thank a big donation from Vincent. You... Without me even prompting you, put your name in the comments section. You left a nice comment. Thank you very much, Vincent. But thank you, everybody. All the donations are count and everything like that, obviously. And unfortunately, like I said, I'm not getting all your names or anything like that, so I can't name you individually. But a great thing, and once again, one of the reasons, if not the main reason, that keeps me walking on to the Far Lands. Indeed. So, Wolfie, we're all good. We're still raising money for Child's Play charity. Looking at my notes. There is, I don't know that I'm going to have this video up in time. It is 1 o'clock p.m. Central Daylight Time right now for me. And at 4:21 p.m. Central Daylight Time, or 5:21 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, NASA is having a rocket launch, an unmanned rocket launch, an Atlas V, which is the same rocket that I saw launch the Juno spacecraft, but they're launching an Air Force infrared surveillance geosynchronous satellite. Oh. Whee! But yeah, that's happening at 5:21 p.m. Eastern Time, so 4.5 hours from now. Surprisingly, yesterday, YouTube's upload and processing was like super fast with that Kerbal Space Program episode I put up. So hopefully it's that way here, and hopefully you get this message in time in order to watch the launch, if it happens. So you can watch that at, I heard about it from, and we'll probably be watching it on spaceflightnow.com. They have a live feed of rocket launches like that. Probably, maybe, because it's an unmanned, just a satellite launch, I'm not sure if the main NASA television channel is going to hold it, but you could also check out nasa.gov and go to the NASA television link there and see if they're also broadcasting it live there. They usually do, but I'm not sure. I've been surprised sometimes by some launches they don't carry. But yeah, that's happening. Little real-life rocket launch there, so that's kind of a cool thing to watch. I assume because it's an Air Force surveillance satellite that pretty much right after launch and right before actual spacecraft separation is usually when they have to cut the feed because it's a classified Air Force satellite. So that's the unfortunate part of a launch like this, but it's still cool. You get to see a rocket launch. So cool stuff indeed. Music. Indeed. It's probably not coming through. Hold on, had a little bit of the sniffles. Not getting sick, hopefully, probably, doubtfully. But it's very cold, it's very windy out. It's always the windiest on garbage day, I find. So I earlier today had to go chase my recycling bin across the block, but woo. But yeah, it's really windy, and these windows in my unit are the cheapest of cheap, and they're drafty, and I can actually feel the wind on my back. So it's rather chilly. I have many layers on, and yeah, that's where that sniffle was coming from. But it's also deceptively sunny. Like, I went outside to get my recycling bin without putting on a coat. And I went outside, and I'm like, okay, I'm freezing. It's like 21 degrees Fahrenheit. Sorry, that's like negative... What is that, like negative 10 Celsius? For you non-crazy Imperial unit people out there. Alright, Wolfie? Wolfie uses the metric system. I do have a little bit of a collection of questions to answer. I feel like I should probably wait until the sun sets to begin such things. I guess as a little bit of a recap, yeah, I said I got a Kerbal Space Program episode up yesterday. A new version, testing out some different things. But also, for those of you who are just here for the Minecraft content, our friend Lorgon111, Brian, we did a co-op, well, not really a co-op, a versus, a duel challenge, which was a new thing. He's done a few of these, but a new thing for me where we do a speed challenge. I've done speed challenges in the past. It's where you try to complete a series of tasks or a single task in Minecraft from a brand new random world and try to do it in the quickest time possible. Etho does a lot of those as well. But Brian has been doing these speed challenge duels where you don't play on a multiplayer server. I have made this hidey hole far too soon. It is not time to sleep yet. Oh, and there's a spawner down there. All right, well, we know what we're going to check out tomorrow. Or maybe right now. No, tomorrow. The sun has set. But yeah, we did a speed challenge. We did, with Minecraft 1.5, there's now daylight sensors. Kind of complicated things to build. You need to go to the nether, you need to smelt glass and things like that, and find nether quartz. So yeah, we did that. So that went up yesterday. I'll probably put a link in the end slate to this video. You can check that out, where we're in separate single-player worlds, but we use the same seed. And then we're just racing each other, and whoever gets there first is like, I win. So that's kind of a cool little format. Hopefully we'll be doing more of those in the future. But yeah, I'll get to that spawner in the morning, as well as your viewer questions. And awakeness, and checking out this spawnerness. Maybe I should, just for safety's sake. Hey! Do this, and then just make sure the whole place isn't going to collapse. Yeah, okay. Maybe this isn't a spawner. It probably is. Let's... Wolfie, you want to get up on this block here? I'll have you sit. Maybe? Yeah? No? No. Dang it. Over here, guy. Yeah, on the block. And then... sit! Awesome. Alright, you are safe right there. I think I did this once before... All you have to do is cover the top layer, don't you? Whoa, that is like a lot of jitteriness I was just experiencing right there, because I was walking on the diagonal. Alright, and then just block off the sides so that things don't flood in. That really didn't work. Maybe it's this. Huh? Yeah, that was. Is this a spawner? I'm starting to believe maybe it's not a spawner at all. I do not know what accent this is. It's kind of a little bit of an Italian mixed with something else. I don't know. It's a little bit of Spanish in there. This is not a spawner. This is just an opening to a cave. All right, false alarm. Let's grab Wolfie and continue westward. I do, however, hear a creeper dying. So I have adjusted something to the terrain and have confused them, and they do not know what to do. Yeah, this whole place seems like it would collapse, but it is not. At least, woof. Nope. Alright. I don't need gravel. Alright, so continuing on, and now I can get to my original purpose of answering questions. This one, once again, talking about a YouTube self-referential topic, I guess, but I get these every now and again. It's interesting to you guys, so I will answer them. From Luke. Luke asks, funny story, first of all, side note, my dad is the one who named me Kurt, but my mom has always said if she... Careful, Wolfie! Careful, Wolfie! Oh gosh, that was a double whammy. Alright, sit. Oh, I need some... There's some pig. How convenient. If my mom were the one who were to name me, she would have named me Luke. So... that is your Kurt trivia for the day. Perhaps my name is actually Luke. You'll never know. No, okay, never mind. But yeah, Luke asks, Kurt, do you know of your real-life friends, as opposed to your Mindcrack or YouTube friends? Do you know if they regularly watch your videos? First of all, don't have that many real-life friends. I've mentioned this many a time before. By choice. I don't really keep in touch with anybody from college or school or anything like that, so not that many real-life friends, as it were, but I did have something happen over the weekend. I guess that could be on a similar topic. I had a friend, I had a get-together with family and friends to those family members, I guess you could say, so not necessarily my friends, but friends of family. Let's go with that distinction. And it's always awkward when people ask what I do. I think it came up because somebody had mentioned that I had been to Paris for, obviously, Minecon Paris last Thanksgiving. And they were all very jealous about that. And it was mentioned, oh, he got to go for work. And they're like, work? what do you sell croissants or something? Ha 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 ha. And so I'm always hesitant to mention what I do for a living, as in the YouTube thing, just because it's difficult to explain, and either some people don't quite understand how it could be a job, or they have this reaction that I'm going to explain. So basically, I explained I make videos on YouTube with video games, or is the theme of my channel and the videos I make, and from a few people, these people, careful, Wolfie, how did you, from a few of these people, I got the response of, oh, I'm so jealous, you get to play video games for a job all day, how is that possible? Everybody's jealous of you, you get to work from home and just roll out of bed and do your work, and, you know, the general response of jealousy, or, you know, it kind of, on one side of things, I guess this is a strange lands indeed. The kind of personal side of things is it kind of makes it feel to me like they don't view what I'm doing as an actual job, you know? It's like, oh, you're so lucky, that can't be your real job, you know, that sort of thing. So there's that aspect of it. But then there's, oh, I'm so jealous that you get to play video games. I wish I could do that, la 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 la. And it's kind of like, I don't, you know, first of all, no matter what you do, whether or not you do YouTube, video games, or vlogs, or whether or not you're a garbage man, or a teacher, or an astronaut, or an engineer, or anything, your job shouldn't define who you are. So I am not, you know, my life is not that of KurtJMac, YouTube commentator and Far Lands or Bust guy. Part of me is mixed within it, and, you know, you get to see, obviously, the real me and stuff like that, but it's not, it doesn't define me. So I don't get the whole I'm jealous of you thing, to be honest. And that's kind of a reaction I'm not a fan of, and one of the reasons, like I said, I avoid really, to people I either don't know or who don't already know, is very difficult for me to, when they ask me what I do, I almost want to just say, yes, I'm a web designer, just because that's what I used to be, and it's easy to just say, yep, that's what I do. Of course, the trouble with that is then you get the people who are like, oh, I own a business. Perhaps you could let me know what you would charge to build a website, or my cousin does this or that, or they're looking for a website, and so that's kind of dangerous that way, or the occasional, oh, I need some business cards, and it's like, no, I do not make business cards for people. So yeah, that really doesn't answer your question, Luke. Luke was asking if any of my friends watch my videos regularly. I mean, I've made friends since starting this YouTube thing that watch my videos regularly, but that's kind of a different thing. They, you know, those friends, that's how they know me, through the YouTube videos, so that's not unusual at all or anything. And there are some, I mentioned that I have a young nephew who watches Far Lands or Bust. Hello. And from time to time, and watches my videos. He doesn't refer to it as Minecraft. Whenever I very rarely babysit, he wants to play Far Lands or Bust. He thinks the name of the game is Far Lands or Bust. But so yeah, there's that, but not, you know, it's not like friends or anything, and it's not. Ooh, I need some wooden planks. And the people I do come across, I don't jump. First of all, I'm not very talkative, but I don't, regardless, jump at the chance to be like, this is what I do, you know, so it's kind of a weird thing. And yeah, it's one of those, the jealousy thing, or the, oh, I can't believe that's what you do, or blah, 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 blah. That I kind of avoid. It's kind of like, well, if you're not happy with what you're doing, maybe you should consider changing. You know, it's not, I'm not, heck, I mean, I guess you could say I'm jealous of astronauts for getting to go into space, but you know, that's a little bit different, I guess. So, sorry, I'm having a difficult time putting this into words, but you get what I'm saying, right? Right. Get what I'm saying without me actually saying it. So yeah, that, I guess, your question, Luke, brought that situation to mind for me. So we got a good day's worth of Minecraft talk out of that, I guess. But yeah, let me collect some wood here. Oh, excuse me. Since it is what I need, after all. Oh, no. Happy Arbor Day. Boop. The sun is setting once again, so I guess this is good a place as any to make an elevated hidey hole. Boop. And a bed. Boop. Probably one more darkness level. What do you say? Yellow. There we go. Let's go to sleep. Oh, I apparently have no idea what darkness level is required for sleep. One more. Boop. This one. Yep. And awakeness once again-ness. Wolfie's ready to go. I guess I can make these planks. Boop, 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 boop. Well, that sound effect was kind of like... What game show has that sound effect? Beep, boop, 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 boop. Is that Jeopardy? I think that might be Jeopardy when they're, like, revealing the topics. I don't watch Jeopardy, by the way. I don't know why I know that sound effect. Anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, another question. A random question from GTYUIOD2. Kurt, have you ever gotten altitude sickness? No. I'm assuming by altitude sickness, you're not meaning, like, sick in an airplane. That's more motion sickness, and yes, I have gotten that before. The first time I rode in an airplane, I was maybe 6, 7, maybe 8 years old, I don't remember. Visiting family on the West Coast, or not the West Coast, the East Coast. And for someone who's got to know the difference between West and East, I should have known the difference. Yes, the first flight was a bumpy one, kind of a strange landing, and I apparently turned green, and puked all over my sister, who was sitting in the adjoining seat on the airplane. So, there's that. But in terms of when you say altitude sickness, I think of, like, being at altitude and being low on oxygen or low on pressure and getting sick. That's the kind of thing I think about altitude sickness. In terms of that, I went to Denver a couple times, and I've been to Pikes Peak. For those of you who have been around long enough, the last time we raised $8,200, I was actually... Holy Moses! Whoa, sit! Okay. Whoa, this is a... death and... oh my gosh. Doom and destruction, and I think this actually is floating sand. I should get off of it immediately. Wow. That's a crazy place. Let's... I have to do this. I must do it. Although I must make it somewhat safer for me. Easy. Easy. Must cause waterfall. Woo! Oh god! Stay on the dirt block. I think we're good. Awesome. Ha! Ha! Sorry, we're getting a lot of weird terrain today, aren't we? Alright, let's go, Wolfie. Watch out for holes in the ground. Like that one. Like that one. Okay. Anyway, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, the last time we raised $8,200 during Season 2 of Farlands or Bust, that happened while I was away in Colorado, so I recorded a video from Garden of the Gonds. I actually originally recorded a video on top of Pikes Peak, which is 14,000 feet. which is pretty tall in terms of altitude. That's probably the highest I've been up in terms of like altitude on a mountain or something like that. And there's reduced oxygen up there. It's very windy, very freezing cold up there. And, you know, they recommend that you don't stay longer than half an hour to an hour, depending on your level of physical fitness, because you will start to get altitude sickness, dizzy and nauseous, because just there's not that much oxygen, and your brain is starting to be like, hey, what's going on? So, but I didn't, when I was up there, I was probably up there for like half an hour, or something like that, and I didn't have that problem. So, airplane sickness, yes, happened once. Never since then, though. Since then, I do enjoy flying. But altitude sickness, no. Have never experienced such a thing. From Matt, a.k.a. Slash, asks, do you have experience with Linux, perhaps from your web design days? It seems most YouTubers use Windows. Do you know of any who are Linux or Mac? Well, it's a topical topic, because as I mentioned in the last episode, Wolfie, where's Wolfie? There he is. Of Kerbal Space Program, the new version of Kerbal Space Program is available for Linux. So that's a thing. I mean, I guess most of that is just due to the fact of the limited games and software. Although I know Linux has a lot of, I'm sure there is quite a bunch of screen recording software and stuff like that. So yeah, that I don't see too much of, but I guess, I mean, I always say if you're looking to try to make at least getting some sort of head start with having success in a YouTube channel, is you should have some sort of niche, some sort of gimmick, I guess you could call it. And if you're not seeing that much competition in the Linux gaming YouTube channels, perhaps that's a good idea to start. You know, you can run all different types of games, and then you have already a built-in audience of people who maybe dedicatedly use Linux systems only, and they're looking for a resource or somebody to review their games or do Let's Plays of their games or let them know about what games are available to them. So, right there. But I don't know of that many. I know in terms of Mac, I know, I think both Pungence and Schism are on Mac platforms, which, you know, runs Minecraft just fine, and they've been using just fine. And I'm sure there's others out there. A lot of the vlogger channels, obviously, they use more Macs because they have Final Cut Pro and things like that. I going through school, being web design, not really web design per se, but print design. I started out through my schooling in print design and graphic design. Used a lot of Macs through that. So yeah, that was always one of my things I put down on my resume when I was looking for jobs, is that I'm very attuned to both Mac and Windows. Sorry, I was trying to check out what that was. Mac and Windows environments. I just never went through the trouble to own a Mac just because I'm poor. I do not have the ability to afford such a thing. So, hello? It's kind of a weird... There's all these trees, and then there's this single tower of dirt that's like trying to... It's pretending to be a tree. I want to be a tree too. That's funny. But yeah, no, I mean, I do have a netbook, one of the old, they don't really make them anymore, but Dell had the old netbooks. It's a 9-inch screen, and it just runs on an 8 gig flash drive. And yeah, I'm running Ubuntu on that, but that's the extent of my Linux experience. As a web designer, we did have to do a little bit, and that's one of the parts that I didn't like too much about being a web designer. I wanted to design websites and interfaces and HTML, CSS, and Photoshop, and blah, 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 blah. But it turned out that 50% of my time was taking being an administrator of our web hosting services that we also provided to our web design clients. So that means I did have to get to know different Apache web hosting administrator duties and syntax within... I forgot even the name of, the command line stuff, and yeah, I don't remember what the heck that name is. There was some program or something that you use to administer your web host or stuff. I don't even remember. But yeah, that's one of the things I didn't like about my job, and one of the reasons why I quit. And I'm like, okay, I will just live off of savings for a while, and then suddenly having more time for YouTube meant more YouTube channel. But I've told that story like 6,000 times. So yeah, kinda, sorta, but not. I wouldn't call myself an expert. I am most comfortable in the Windows arena, I guess you could say. And I haven't, since stopping doing web design, graphic design, I haven't kept up with Mac all that much. But you know, I'm sure I could interchangeably use it if I had to, but I don't really need to. So yeah, thanks for that question. Not really that much time left for another question. Yeah. Woof. We seem to have come into a little bit more of a... Like, we had a lot of strange terrain this episode, didn't we, Wolfie? Careful, don't go towards those cactuses. A lot of strange terrain this episode, but we've stumbled into what appears to be a little bit more of a... Your normal Minecraft Beta 1.7.3. It's going to be very confusing. We're on, obviously, Minecraft 1.5 now. It's going to start to be a little bit confusing to explain to people what version we're using when we finally... Obviously, next is going to be 1.6, and then 1.7 of the full release. When the full release gets to 1.7, I'm going to have a hard time explaining that I'm in Beta 1.7 of Minecraft, and not the full release version of the game, so... fun times. Let's see, what do we got here in terms of a hidey hole? I guess we can do a little bit something different over here. Something pre-dug for us. Have a seat. Have a seat. Have a nightlight as well while you're at it. But yeah, let's dig in. Let's do the duties of the end of the episode hidey hole for this episode 227. Like I said, the Far Lands or Bust Child's Play charity donation widget is up and appears to be working fine. Like I said, if you really want me to know who the donation comes from, I generally don't thank people by name or by username, but if you want to leave me a message, also leave me, you know, your Twitter username or your YouTube username or something, if it's, you know, something I might recognize in the comments. Leave that in the comments section of the donation when you're giving your donation to Child's Play charity at farlandsorbust.com, just because at the moment it appears I'm not seeing that in a separate column. Let's do that. Place the bed. Let's make a boat while we're at it. Get prepared for the next episode. I should... I'm kind of doing all right. Maybe I should get rid of this flint at some point. But yeah, that wraps up this episode. Thanks for following along. Please keep asking questions in the comments below or on Twitter. Those are the two best ways to get my attention as far as questions you want answered in these episodes. I appreciate your support and continued donations to Child's Play charity. My name is Kurt. Thanks for watching. I will see you next time.